Hey guys, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to continue answering the questions of Algebra 5. We start here. So question 10, let's do question 10. Some of them are a little bit complicated, but you just have to focus on the steps and you'll get the idea. So first here, let's cover this. So we can work here. We'll do 10 and 11, okay? Now for 10 here, 5x power of 3 plus 3x squared multiplied by the x. So the first step we have to do, we have to expand the x inside this bracket. So the x must be expanded here, like this. And then we're going to expand this bracket with this bracket. So first, let's expand this. So we multiply x inside. We will get 5x power of 4. And then plus x multiplied here is going to be power of 3. So 3x power of 3. 3x power of 3. Now, all of this will be in brackets, like this, because we didn't expand the brackets yet, like this. Now, do the second bracket. So here we have 2x plus 1, so 2x plus 1 inside brackets, like this. Now we have two brackets. We're going to expand the two brackets with each other. So same idea, first one goes with the first and the second. And then second one goes with the first and the second. So first one, 5x power of 4 multiplied by 2x is going to be 10 because 5 times 2 is 10. And x power of 4, x power of 1 will be x power of 5. This. And then we multiply this by 1, it will give us the same number. So plus 5x power of 4. Power of 4. And then we multiply this by 2x. So 3 times 2 is going to be 6. And then x power of 3, x power of 1, they're going to be x power of 4. So x power of 3, x power of 1 is going to be x power of 4. And then this multiplied 1 will be the same. So 3x power of 3. This. Now, we look at the like terms. We'll find out that these two have the like or um, the same coefficients. Same coefficients. So this one is plus. Yes. So they have the same coefficients. It means we can simplify them with each other. So 5 plus 6 is going to be 11. So let's write the answer. It's going to be 10x power of 5. 5. 5 plus 6 is going to be 11. So plus 11x and the same power, which is 4. And then this one plus 3x power of 3. Power of 3. And this is the final answer for this expanding and simplifying part. Now, let's do question 11. It has the same idea, but we have to focus on the steps. Steps are very important, so we have to focus on them, okay? So here, this is the question 10. So question 10, yes, same as good. Now, let's do question 11. In question 11, let's erase these. As I said, they have the same ideas, so make sure that you practice on them and check if you got the right answer. So let's cover this here and do question 11. In question 11, we can simplify this and then put the power inside on the numerator and denominator. Same idea here, we can do the same, the power inside on the numerator and the denominator. Now let's do this. First, here we have different denominators, so we're going to make them the same by multiplying. And after multiplying, we're going to cross multiply like this. So multiply and then cross multiply. So we're going to have the same denominator here, and then minus, and then same denominator here. We're going to work on both sides. So same denominator, it means AB. So this one is AB because we multiplied. Now we cross multiply. So A times A is A power of 2, 2, like this. And B times B is B power of 2, and we have plus between them. So plus B power of 2, like this. And the whole thing is power of 2, like this, because this square we didn't use it. So the whole thing will be inside brackets with a power of 2. power 2. Okay. And then minus here, same idea. A times B is going to be AB. And then here we do the same thing with the cross multiplying thing. We multiplied and then we cross multiply and we use the sign. So A times A is going to be A squared here. So this one is going to be A squared and then minus B squared. And don't forget that all of them inside brackets and they're going to be squared. So this one is squared or power 2 and then power of 2. And then all of it is power of 2. So same idea. We finished this one. We got this. We finished this. We got this. Now we can work on putting the power inside. So we're going to put this power inside. Okay. Now, these things, we need to put the power inside and then do the simplifying part. So it means the power will be distributed here on the numerator and the denominator, like this. Same idea, this power here and here, numerator and denominator. Now it will look like this. Let me show you. The AB down here will be squared. Same idea for this AB. It's going to be squared like this. And squaring means putting them inside brackets. So it's going to be like this. Focus on this. If you have two elements, you have to put them inside brackets when you square them. So here, AB, AB, you have to put them inside brackets. Focus on this step, okay? Now, let's put square here and square here. Good. Here, we're going to square this part by putting brackets. So we will write it like this. Bracket A squared plus B squared brackets squared. So this part here. So this one is squared. This one is squared, and the whole thing is squared. Same idea with the AB here. Let's put a fraction line. So we have this fraction line, and this is negative, and this is fraction line. Same idea here. I'm going to do the same thing, put the square on the whole thing. So it's going to be like this, brackets, A squared minus B squared, brackets squared. So the A will be squared, B will be squared, and the whole thing is squared. And this is the idea here. So we already got these. Make sure that you don't have any mistakes. So follow your steps, step after another, so you get the right answer. Now, because we have these, we can expand these and see the answer. Now, first here, this one and this one, they have the same denominator. It means we can subtract these from each other. So we can say this squared minus this squared. This is very important. Now, let's take a look first. Because they have the same denominator, I can put them on the same denominator. Let's put a line here. So I'll put them on the same denominator and I'll do the calculations that I have. So the denominator down will be AB squared, like this, square root AB squared. Because they have the same denominator and the negative sign will be multiplied by these. Now I'm gonna put these into brackets like this. So it's gonna be like this, sorry, two brackets. Each bracket has A plus B squared, so A plus B squared. And then second bracket, same idea, A plus B squared. Okay, this is the meaning of squaring. And then minus multiplied by this bracket, and inside of it, it has the brackets we talked about. So A squared minus B squared, close bracket, and then another bracket, A minus B squared, close bracket, and close the second bracket of the minus. Now let's put the squares. So this one is going to be squares, squared, 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 squared. Now we got these. Now we can expand. We can expand these double brackets inside of each other. And then After expanding, we will try to simplify to get to the right answer. So here, let's expand this first. So a squared times a squared is going to be a power of 4, or a power of 4, yes, like this. And then a squared times b squared is going to be good, plus a squared b squared. A squared b squared. Okay. And then same idea with the second one, b squared times a squared is going to be plus a squared b squared. Okay. And then b squared times b squared is going to be plus b power of 4. So this is the first idea. So this one will be squared, 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 squared. Okay. And then here we have power of 4. Now we'll do the same idea with this one. So we have the minus first outside the bracket, so we don't get confused. A squared times a squared is going to be a power of 4. This one is power of 4. And then multiplied by minus b squared is going to be minus a squared b squared. And then same idea, minus b times a is going to be minus a squared b squared. And then this one will be positive b power of 4. B squared times b squared is going to be positive b power of 4. Let's put it here like this, yes. So this one is b power of 4, and the others are squared. So squared, 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 okay? So here, we still have a negative sign outside this bracket, so we can put it inside. Let's first this here. So we put the bracket like this. So we can put the negative sign inside the bracket. And all of this on AB all squared. So this one is going to be AB all squared. This question is a little bit long and it needs understanding. Make sure that you follow the steps so you can understand the question. So all of this is squared and inside brackets like this. Here we have bracket. Now all of this is on top of AB squared. Now we do the simplifying part by adding these and the ones which are the same. So first, let me show you how. We expand here. This is a negative sign. It means it's gonna change the signs of each element. So we're gonna change the sign of each element, but we're gonna use this space here. Let's see. Let's cover this because we don't have enough space on the other side. Now let's do this. So here we have a power of 4, and this one is negative 8 power of 4. So as we said, this sign is going to change all the signs here. So let's do them here. So we have a power of 4 here. And then this one is 2a squared b squared. So plus 2 a squared b squared. Okay. And after that, plus b squared plus b power of 4. So this one squared, and then b power of 4. Okay. And then the negative sign will change all the signs. So what we have is negative a power of 4, negative a power of 4. Let's put it here. You have to focus on the signs because they change everything. This one is the positive a squared b squared. So positive a squared b squared. A positive a squared b squared, positive a squared b squared together, they're going to be positive 2a squared b squared. Okay, focus on the steps. I might skip a step because we don't have enough time to elaborate. So, but we understand the idea. This one is negative 2. We multiply by negative is going to be positive 2a squared b squared. And then negative b power of 4. Negative b power of 4. And all of this is divided by what? It's divided by AB power of 2. AB power of 2. Like this. Or A squared, B squared. Now, let's continue with the simplifying. Here, B power of 4 minus B power of 4 is going to be 0. And here we have A power of 4 minus A power of 4 is going to be 0. So 2 a squared b squared plus 2a squared b squared is going to be what? It's going to be 4 a squared b squared. This a squared b squared. Okay, sorry. Now the 4 is multiplied by a squared b squared. So let's write it that way so we understand what are we doing. So there's a bracket here, just to understand that this one is multiplied by this one. Now all of this is divided by ab squared. Now this power can be distributed inside like this. So a squared b squared. So I can write it as a squared b squared like this. A squared b squared. Now this will help me simplify more. It means what? It means the a squared b squared can be simplified by the a squared b squared and they become 1. And when you multiply them by 4, the final answer will be 4. So the final answer for this simplifying question is 4. And this is how you answer a question like this. I know that the steps are long, the ideas are a little bit chunky, but if you follow them step by step, you'll get to the answer very easily. That's it for this question. Let's move on and check another question. I think this covers the whole thing about the expanding and the rules of expanding. These ideas are the same. You just have to understand the rules of the areas and how to use them. Now we're gonna step or go through the lessons and try another lesson, which is the 3 linear brackets. Now, 3 linear brackets means what? It means you have 3 brackets like this. So you're supposed to expand the first bracket and then take the answer and use it to expand with the third bracket. This is the idea of expanding 3 linear brackets. So you multiply the first two, and then take the answer multiplied by the third one. That's the idea of expanding, okay? So here they already give you one which is multiplied, and then you're going to multiply it with this one. But I'm going to jump the ones that have 3 brackets just to show you how to answer these questions. So we're going to do this one that has 3 brackets. I just want to make sure that I cover the whole lesson by answering less questions. I don't have to answer all the questions, but I'm trying to cover the whole ideas. But if you still have problems with any of the ideas, please send me a message, talk about it. Let's answer some questions together and we will get to the answers. So as we said, we're going to work on the first 2 brackets like this. So this one multiplied by the first one, let's take this down, and then multiplied by the second one. Same idea, this one by first one and by the second one. So the answer will be x, first one, 3x times x is going to be 3x power of 2. 3x power of 2. And then x times negative 2 is going to be negative 2x. So x times 3x, x times negative x. Now 1 times 3x is going to be positive 3x, so plus 3x. And then x times negative 2 is going to be negative, I'm sorry, 1 times 3x is going to be positive 3x. 1 times negative 2 is going to be negative 2. Now, we finished the first 2 brackets. It means we have to put them inside a bracket like this. This idea is to help me expand again. So I finished expanding the first 2 brackets. Now I'm going to expand again with the third bracket. So this bracket here, I'm going to write it as it is, which is x minus 1. So brackets, x minus 1, like this. Now I'm going to use this bracket and expand it with the bracket I got from the first expanding. So this means I'm going to expand 2 times, expand the first 2, and then expand the third one with the answer. So first goes with first and goes with second. Same idea, second goes with first and goes with second. And then same idea with this one, same idea with this one. You multiply by the first and by the second. That's the idea, okay? Now, let's do it together. So 3x squared times x is going to be 3x power of 3. Don't jump into answers. Follow the steps, step after another. And then multiplied by negative 1, we just change the sign. So negative 3x. x power of 2. Next, this 1 times x is going to be negative 2x power of 2. Okay, this times this is negative 2x power of 2. And then this times this is positive 2x. So positive 2x. So we multiply this by the first one. We got 3x power of 3, and then negative 3x power of 2. This times this is negative 2x power of 2. How did we get the 3? This times this is negative 2x power of 2. Ah, this is the first one, yeah. 1, 2, for the first. And then this times x is this one, and times 1, negative 1 is this one. Now, the third one times this is going to be 3x power of 2. So plus 3x power of 2. That's why I'm telling you focus on the steps because it's confusing a little bit. So 3x times x is going to be 3x power of 2. 3x times negative 1 is going to be negative 3x. Last one, negative 2 times x is going to be negative 2x. Negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 1 is going to be positive 2. And by that, we finished all the expanding parts. Now we come to the simplifying part. In simplifying, I need like terms. This one hasn't got any like terms. These are like terms because they have x power of 2, same variable. So I'm going to work them together. And other like terms I have the 2x, negative 3x, and negative 2x. And then I write the answers. This one is the first to write, so 3x power of 3. Here, I can see that this and this are the same. This and this are the same, but with different signs. It means they go as 0 because 3 minus 3 is going to be 0. The answer will be negative 2x squared. So I'll write negative 2x squared or negative 2x power of 2. And then same idea with the other ones. This is positive 2x and this is negative 2x. They are eliminated as 0 and the answer is negative 3x. And then after that, I have positive 2. So I'm going to write positive 2 like this. And this is the final answer for expanding and simplifying these expressions. Now, and this is what you get from multiplying three brackets or three linear brackets by each other. Now, let's move on to the next question. Now, the others have the same idea. So you can follow the same steps that we did with this question, and they will give you the same idea, okay? Here they have four, same idea. You multiply these, and then multiply with this one, and then multiply with this one. Same steps, same ideas. Now, this is the part of expanding uh, three linear brackets. Now we come to the next lesson, which is factorizing quadratic expressions. Factorizing quadratic expressions. Now, when you look at these, for example, you can notice that the x is common. It means you can take the x outside the bracket and you leave x minus 12. Now, you can do it that way with your mind or break it down to its elements. For example, x squared will be x times x, and then the second group will be 12 times x, like this. And the common ones are the x's. So you take the x's, you take one of them, put it outside the bracket, and you're left with x minus 12 inside the bracket. So you just put a bracket here. So x bracket, and then close bracket like this. So the answer will be x multiplied by x minus 12. So this idea is for quadratic expressions like this. So let's take a look. For example, same idea here. This one will be double brackets. So focus on the difference between having double brackets and factorizing that way. So let's take a look at some questions here. For example, factorize these, x squared minus 3x. Now, if you have them like this, one of them is squared, one of them is not, it means you can take one common outside the bracket and then leave the rest inside the bracket. For example, let's take a look at this one. This one is x times x. And the next one next to it is 3 times x. So minus 3 times x. Like this. Now the common ones will go outside the bracket, which are the x. So I'm going to make a bracket over here. So the answer will be like this. So x minus 3 and x outside the bracket like this. So the answer will be x times bracket x minus 3. And this is the factorizing part of this lesson. So when you factorize quadratic expressions, you can do it that way. Same idea, same idea, same idea. You just put them on top of each other like this, break them down, check what's common, take it outside the bracket, and the ones you left, write them inside the bracket, and then write the answer. So for example, when we take a look at this, x squared is x times x, 42 is 42 times x. What's common between them? It's the x's. So I take 2 and I write 1. So the answer will be x, open bracket. What did you leave in the first group? I left x and then plus, and then 42, and then you close bracket. And this is the final answer for factorizing. Now let's move on to the next question. Same idea, all of them. You can do them. If you have a common x here and x here, you can do the same method that we did. But if you don't have x's on both elements, it means you're going to use double brackets. And double brackets method means what? For example, let's take a look at this question here. In double bracket method, you're going to use two brackets. Here we have x squared, so two brackets like this. You're going to put x and then plus. Now, for the minus means what? It means different signs. So x plus a number and then x minus a number. And then you take the 64 because you need two numbers. When you multiply them by each other, they must be the same. And when you multiply them, you get 64. So they are 8 and 8. And that's the idea of this question. So having 8 times 8, yes. Having an expression like this, it means double brackets, x, different signs, same number. When you multiply, you get 64, which is 8, 8. Same idea with this one. So 121, you need two numbers. When you multiply them, you get 121. And the answer is very good. It's going to be 11 because 11 times 11 is 121. So x plus 11, x minus 11 is the answer inside brackets. Same idea here. You can now, if the numbers are big, for example, like this one, you can use square roots. If this one is squared, you can use square roots. So you can say square root of 225, and the answer is 15. So it's going to be x plus 15, x minus 15. That's the idea of these questions. Now here, you can do it in two methods. You can break this down, take the common outside the bracket, and then after you take the common outside the bracket, you can do the rest of the question. So, for example, I can do it in both ways. Let me show you how. For example, here, I'm gonna do the first thing I'm gonna do is the one we did before, which is saying that this one is 4 times x squared, okay? Or x times x. So 4 times x, 16 is 4 times 4. So 4 times 4. Now I'm gonna take the ones in common between them, which are the 4s. So I'm going to write it outside the bracket like this. It's going to be 4 bracket. Now, what did I leave in this group? I left x squared. So it's going to be x power of 2. And then the second group will be 4, so minus 4. Now, close the bracket like this. Now, this one, the one outside is the 4. I leave it. Now, I come to this part and do the same thing I did with this part. So the x squared minus 4 is going to be what? It's going to be a double bracket with x plus a number, and then the other bracket x minus a number, and then close the bracket. This is the idea. And even when you finish, you're gonna put 4 next to it. This 4 will be next to it. So here, I need two numbers. When you multiply them, you get 4. So they are 2 and 2. Very good. 2 and 2. So 2 and 2. So it's going to be x plus 2, x minus 2, and at the end is going to be multiplied by 4. And that's the idea of answering a question like this. Now, let's move on to the next questions. Here. That's the idea of factorizing quadratic expressions using these methods. Now, the next thing is factorizing quadratic expressions with three terms. With three terms. It means quadratic with three terms like this. Same idea, we're going to use the double bracket method, the double bracket method. Now, for example, let's take a look at some questions here. Here, they already helped you with the factorizing. They factorized and they left A empty. So you're supposed to find A. You're supposed to find A. So here, let's take a look. This one, it's X plus, because this is positive or plus, it means they have the same signs. Now you need two numbers. When you multiply them, you get 2. When you add them, you get 3. So they are 2 and 1. 2 and 1. Very good. So this one is 1. Same idea here. This is plus. It means they have the same signs because this is addition. Okay. So plus means same signs. You need two numbers. When you multiply them, you get 12. When you add them, you get 7. So 3 and 4. Good. Next here, because this is negative, it means subtraction. Subtraction means different signs. So these signs must be different. So this one must be negative. So the A must be negative. Now you need two numbers. When you multiply them, you get 4. When you subtract them, you get 3. Very good. So they are 4 and 1. So the answer is negative 1. That's the idea. When you multiply, it's negative 4. When you subtract them like this, 4 minus 1 is going to be 3. And that's the idea of factorizing in three elements. Same idea here. So this one is plus. It means both signs are the same. So negative and negative, like this. Okay. So this one must be negative. And the number, you need it. So this is addition. So they must have the same signs. So this means you need two numbers. When you multiply them, you get 10. When you add them, you get 7. So 5 and 2. Good. Here, same idea. This is plus. It means addition. Addition means same signs, plus plus. We need two numbers. When you multiply them, you get 4. When you add them, you get 4. So they are 2 and 2. And here, for this one, x minus 1, because we have two elements, we don't have three elements. So this means the numbers must be the same. The numbers must be the same, but with different signs. So it's going to be x plus 1, x minus 1. And that's the idea of the whole question. Now let's move on. The rest of the questions. Same idea with this one, same steps. Factorizing these, let me explain these. We already explained if the sign is positive, it means same signs plus addition, and both of them will be positive. If it's positive, same signs, both of them will be negative. So focus on this. Now let's see some factorizing questions. Let's take some a little bit hard ones. For example, this one here. Let's see. Here, x squared plus 8x plus 16. First thing you do, you look at the sign of the last element, which is the number alone. So this one plus, it means addition. You write add on top of it. Addition means both signs are the same. So when you put two brackets, you put them like this. Bracket, bracket, bracket. So in the double brackets here, you're going to put x. Same idea, x. As we said, because they have the same signs, because they are addition, it means the same signs. Now, how do you know the signs? By looking here. If this is positive, it means both of them will be positive, like this. So focus on this because it's very important to know what's the sign of the numbers. Now, you need two numbers. When you multiply them, you get 16. When you add them, you get 8. You can come to the 16 and factorize it or find the factors. The factors of 16 are 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 4 times 4. Example, yes. These are the factors of 16. Now, You need two numbers. When you add them, you get 8. So they are 4 and 4. So you just write 4 and 4. And that's the idea of answering a question like this. So you just have to focus on the signs of the last number and then use the sign of the number before. Same idea with all questions, so we don't have to do all of them. Factorizing quadratic or three elements quadratic expressions is easy. You just have to focus on the sign. Solving means what? After you factorize, you just use the opposite or take a bracket, make it equal to 0, find the value of x. For example, let's take a look at one of the questions and solve it. We're going to do 4 and 5 because all of them will lead to 4 and 5. So here, let's cover this. Now to solve this one is already factorized. So x plus 8 squared is going to be 0. So this means what? It means that these two brackets, like this, x plus 8 and x plus 8 will equal to 0. This is the meaning of this equation. Now you take, because both of them are the same, you just take one of them. So you say x plus 8 will equal 0. Now I need the value of x, so I'm going to take the 8 to the other side and make it negative 8. So the value of x that makes this equation right is negative 8. So 8 equals negative 8. And this is the idea of answering a question like this. Now, as we said, factorize and then use the opposite of the number or make the bracket equal to 0 and find the value of x. So let's remove this. Let's check the last one here. Same idea. When you solve this, it means this, let me change the color. This x will equal 0, or the whole bracket will equal 0. So one of them, or each one of them should be answered like this. So the first one, you say x equals 0. This is already answered. The second one, x minus 10 will equal 0. So x minus 10 will equal 0. Now you take 10 to the other side, so x will equal 10. So the values that I have, they might be 0 or 10. So the idea is about solving is finding the value of x that makes the equation right. It's 0 or 10. Now let's move on to the next question. The idea of solving is easy. You just factorize and then make it equal to 0. Factorize and make it equal to 0. Now, these are already factorized for you. They're just making you practice the ideas. For example, this one, if you have three brackets and all of them equal to 0, it means first step, you say that this bracket equals 0, or this bracket equals 0, or this bracket equals 0. And you take the three answers that you got. Let's start with the first one. So x plus 1 will equal 0. It means we will take the 1 to the other side, so x equals negative 1. That's the first value of x. Second one, x minus 1 equals 0. We take the negative 1 to the other side, so x equals 1. This is the second value. Now the last one, so you say 2x plus 5 will equal 0. You take the 5 to the other side, so 2x equals negative 5, like this. And then you divide by 2, so x will equal, you divide by 2, so negative 5 divide 2. So x will equal to negative 2.5. And this is the idea of answering a question like this. Now we found the three values that makes or solves the equation. So x negative 1, x1, x negative 2.5. And that's the idea of factorizing and solving quadratic expressions with two elements or three elements, depending on the bracket. Now, this is the idea here. Now, for these, you're going to factorize and then solve. You're going to follow the same idea, factorize and solve. So in the next video, we're going to factorize and solve these questions. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.